Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick pick prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the heavyweight bout between Ciryl Gane versus Alexander Volkov. Almost messed up his name for a second there, but we continue. We've made it past. And then let's get in. Gane versus Volkov, heavyweight division, big fight, potential, title eliminator right here. If Gane can get past Volkov, title shot. If Volkov can get past Gane, maybe not a title shot, but if he could get past him in a dominant, amazing, impressive fashion, title shot. Right now, Gane's got that's been riding his steam, still undefeated, and yeah, let's see how this fight goes out. And I don't know why I'm saying that. Well, like I'm not predicting it, but in this one, I'm definitely predicting Gane just straight off the bat right here. Gane versus Volkov. I'm going with Gane. I feel like Volkov has been looking good, but you can't really rate his wins too high. I could go more into it in like the full card video, but right here I'm gonna make it quick. I feel like Overeem, he'd be like a 40-year-old Overeem who's always been chinny. And then stylistically, I just feel like he had the edge in that fight, so it was not all that impressive. Still a solid win, never not a good win to beat Overeem, but still stylistically wise and how to fight when they fought and the age they fought wasn't like, all that impressed by what he did. It was a little bit more dominant than I expected, but as far as within the realms of to be expected, it was expected, so not impressed. Matter of fact, I was out of all his most recent fights, I was most impressed in the loss to Blades, how well he was able to, deal with the wrestling to an extent. Early on, he was getting suplexed and thrown around like a rag doll and stuff, but to be able to still stay there and survive, but was also disappointed by his lack of, grit and drive to really be able to put it on Curtis Blades when Curtis Blades was literally out there, desperado, falling on takedowns, to maybe just stick some underhooks in there to be able to turn around and then take advantage of a tired wrestler. And he wasn't able to do that. And also got outstruck by, at points in the fight by Curtis Blades, who should not be anywhere near him as far as in the striking. But it is what it is. But I was impressed by at least his wrestling defense and his ability to, weather that and be able to, still take it to decisions. And, have his moments in the fight late, but not fully be able to capitalize on them. That's a knock against him. But to be able to make it there is a big plus. And was more impressive to me than him beating not beating Blades, beating Overeem, and definitely not him beating Walt Harris. Walt Harris, good explosive fighter for the first round, but not the most technical, not the most durable, not the most this, not the most that. Like, solid fighter, cool dude, but it don't really mean a whole lot to beat Walt Harris, especially if you are this high-level striker going against a guy who's really not that technical, just a power, explosive fighter with not the most skills or the most really anything. But yeah, so I don't really rate those wins too high. What I see in this one, I'm not talking about the side stuff, but I see this one, I feel like Gane's going to be able to, or Gane will be the more well-rounded fighter, which he will. In this fight, Volkov will have that height and reach, but I feel like Gane's overall skills are more fleshed out overall. And probably even striking really by a slim margin, but I feel with this one, Gane's not going to fight on that, go straight back and go against these longer fighters. He's going to fight on angles. And I think early on, we have seen issues with Volkov not reacting too much to heavy pressure and power shots, and he starts to freeze up at times, or not reacting best, or not, especially defensively, not reacting back. So I feel like Gane's going to initially look to get that center of the cage and push Volkov back, being a heavier puncher. He can be a sharp striker, but he has historically never been a power puncher. He's got these punches and bunches to get you out of there. So I feel like in that battle, Gane's going to be a take to center, his shot's going to be heavier, and Volkov's going to have to respect that and get put on the back foot. And once Gane gives them, makes him feel some power early, he's going to have Volkov reacting and have that in the back of his head. And going to be able to keep him on the back foot with his feints, teeps, front kicks, keep him in the back. And then be able to attack the legs, initiate the clinch. Like I said, better grappling. We have seen Gane be a go submission, seen Gane go use grappling. We haven't seen to the greatest degree of it just yet, but just from our lean, Volkov, we have not really seen great offensive grappling. Maybe a takedown or two here and there, but grappling for the most part has just been defensive. So I feel Gane will definitely have the grappling advantage. We'll be able to push him back, keep him honest with the power shots and the threat of power shots, initiate the clinch, fight a smart fight, and just keep a case where he's keeping Volkov guessing and keep Volkov worrying, and to be able to mix in power shots, conserve his energy, and like pick his shots well, and control that center of the cage and control the pace of the battle and where it's been fought at, and to be able to just out technique and just be the better overall fighter and beat Volkov to a decision. That's what I see. I don't think he stops him. I think there's a good chance he can stop him. Like I said, there's a lot of areas where we have not really seen Volkov for too much on the ground. We've seen him look good against Werdum defensively, and show smart, show experience in that one. Seen him go against Blaze and get thrown around, but be able to weather and, like I say, show smart, show patience, and be able to make it through. But you would wish he would have rallied more in that one. So at least defensively, he's sound there. So I can't really say it's a case where Gane is going to be able to just take him down and just like dominate on the ground and tap him out or ground and pound him out. So I see more so, and that's just like Gane might have him in those positions, but he's going to be smart and not try to gas himself out or overwork himself in any of these positions, which will allow Volkov, a guy who's actually a cardio heavyweight, not like a heavyweight that's like a big laboring, lurching heavyweight. He's a guy that's going to be able to put a volume through 5 rounds if you let him. So you got to constantly keep him honest and keep him ratting. You can't just go out and try to blow your wad and hoping for a knockout, because if you don't get it, this guy's going to be right back on you and you're going to be the one getting put out, or this, you're going to get turned into a punching bag for the rest of the fight. So Gane is not a fighter. I don't know why, like in the last fight, people thought Gane was going to be some crazy knockout artist that's swinging, banging like with Rosenstruck. He's not. He's a smart fighting fighter. He's a tactical fighter. He's not a fighter that goes out there and looks for the finish. If it's there, it will come to him. But I see him as, and he is a fighter that really just fills out the fight. I mean, at times early on in his UFC career, which is still relatively early on in his UFC career, he did try to look for the finish a little bit. But when he's going in there with a guy that, that's big, a true threat to him, he's always gonna go back to the technical pick and like really fill out fighter. He's not a fighter that's gonna, if you see a guy that's an actual threat, he's gonna go out there and just let it loose to the fullest degree. So in this one, I think that's gonna be a case where he's not gonna let it loose to the fullest degree unless it truly presents itself or he sees a clear opening. But I don't think it's gonna be that case. I think he's gonna stay smart, stay disciplined, and do what he needs to do to win. Probably not the most impressive win, but just at this point, bearing where he is, just by beating Volkov and probably still shut him out for most of the rounds, is going to be enough to get him, a title shot. He's going to get the victory and be able to get a title shot just based off being the #1 contender. So in this one, I got Ciryl Gane via decision.